Hello everyone, my name is Edward Murray, and this is my video review for week 1 of Java 1, term 1402. So first let's just go ahead and walk through the code. This week we had to implement some Java variables, as well as some loops, some conditionals, a function and or method, some text views, and some other things. So first I'll just go ahead and go through the variables. You can see here I just kind of have all the variables commented out in different sections. String variables, boolean, ints, stuff like that. I also have all my views declared publicly so they can be accessed within each method and or function. So if you scroll down, you can see I have my linear layout being created. The header text view, which just gives the user some information on what to do. The user input, which is the edit text, where the user actually inputs data. And then my button, which has a click event handler, which is the on-click listener. And then once the user clicks the button, I have some conditionals that are run. One of them is to check to see if the user actually input data. If they do, I set my Boolean variable to true. And then if the Boolean variable is true, it goes ahead and runs this bit of code right here, which grabs the input, sets the text view for what the user entered, and just kind of appends the newly entered data to the already existing data. I also have a check to see if the user clicks on the button without entering something. It'll let the user know that it was an invalid entry. And then if that text equals invalid entry after they have actually submitted data, it'll reset it. And then I also have it to where it runs this function. Basically what the function does, which you'll see in a minute, just lets the user know how many items they have entered. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and just run over to the code and you'll see what I'm talking about. If the user doesn't enter anything, it will let the user know that it was an invalid entry. If you go ahead and just type in something and hit it, it'll change the text back to the standard text, which gets pulled from the strings XML file. List of quotes adds the user input to the text view, runs that function, which pretty much just runs through a loop and increases the quote count variable, which is an int. And you can see that here it says current number of quotes 1. If we input another thing, click the button, you see it loops again and changes to 2, and so on and so forth. This week went pretty well. I think I was able to cover every point in the rubric, as well as everything that was required on the activity page. And I look forward to next week.